Martin, thank you for your time. And right now, I have three questions about the corporate creativity culture. So my first question is, creativity oftentimes uncovers new and unconventional problems. So consequently, many times it is necessary to solve them with the new and unusual methods. So if you have any unconventional approach, did you last use to solve a problem or issue in your company?
What first came on my mind, and I think many of us must have seen it or experienced this, sometimes in a company, you either have a little box in somewhere where you can put the paper with your tip, like what company can improve, or you can anonymously write somewhere email saying what company can improve. And I think that's, for me, that's a sign that company is probably not, or that company environment and culture is not good enough and open enough to make these people speak about it, but they need to be submitting these ideas anonymously. And I think if and this to me is a conventional approach, and I would then encourage the managers, instead of doing this, trying to get it out from the people in a normal human way. Either at the beer, for someone it can be having a chat next to the coffee machine in the kitchen with somebody, it can be over the beer after work, but I think managers should work hard to be able to get it openly from people, also knowing who has what kind of ideas. So I think what you asked and what you named as an unconventional approach, I would call a human approach. Simply speak and speak openly.
Basically, in this time when it's quite tough to have the face-to-face communication, is really important. What specific obstacle to applying creativity in the workplace have you faced, and how did you deal with them?
Yeah, I think if you have a creative idea, there will be always people who will say, okay, it's not possible. And that's for many people, it's such a strong pushback that okay, I mean, no, if it's not possible, it's not possible. And I think always the question is, how strong voice have those people who doesn't like changes and think this way, that something is impossible. And for example, I was once we were having similar exercise, and we were throwing out the ideas, and I was always like I had the idea like let's get rid of the printing machines. We just stop ordering paper, and we get rid of all the printing machines. So we won't be printing, scanning, nothing like that. Like, of course, it wasn't possible because you always face the authorities and the state and everything which is making you using paper, for example, and keep printing and signing and stamping and whatever. But in a really large scale of the huge companies, this is, for example, something, I mean, if we can work online from pandemic, I mean, how did people do it with the paper? Basically, it must have been possible. Now you have digital signatures, you have plenty of opportunities how to support such idea, but always you will have a people, okay, it's not possible. We have to file this in a paper. We have to have paper because we need to sign something at notary. So there is always like something, but so I think the biggest obstacle is it's not possible, and that is okay. If I wanna jump from this window, saying that I will fly, it might be impossible. But if you speak about normal things, you know, I think
you can find a solution.
Yeah, I think that sentence, "it is not possible," killed probably the most creative ideas ever, and keep doing it.
Definitely. And especially in this time of pandemic, pandemic has affected every company, whether positively or negatively. So do you distinguish between attitudes, and this is one of the questions you already answered, the attitude toward creativity in this time of a crisis and outside of it, or the regular times, or do you have the same attitude all the time?
I think I think what may more often changing your attitude than I think the pandemic somehow changed us, influenced us. Somebody maybe realized, I realized that I definitely feel much more comfortable with less traveling, and I also feel physically much better. I never thought that traveling, I used to live a life when I was 85 to 90 days a year on the hotel, and now I realized how negative impact it had on my body, on my physics, and I think so pandemic, okay, many people more appreciate their family time and work and life balance. On another hand, I think what can be more strongly changing companies and towards the creativity is also when you nowadays hire younger and younger people still. Because if I'm now gonna be 40 and if we have two colleagues here who are just after the school, there is that 15-year gap. That's a huge difference in what kind of world you were growing up, and you were if I remember in what kind of world I was on a secondary school and university, and in what kind of world they are, definitely you're gonna be different people. And nothing against hiring older people, but unfortunately, that's if we speak about creativity, I think you always need to add youngsters into the teams and really provide them with such a corporate company culture that they will be able to speak, and they will be able to tell you some of their ideas.
Thank you for your inspiring answers. Thank you for the interview.